Vag, vag, vag. What you gonna do when it's hot outside? Ooh, I know what. Listen to Vag. What you gonna do when the trains are down? Ooh, I know what. Listen to Vag.
All right, so you're
Good
gonna know.
morning, Vietnam.
Imagine being alive during that time, Vietnam, and doing that show.
Sometimes I think Vietnam, minus the war, looked pretty fun to me. Just hanging out with your best guy friends, listen to Creedence Clearwater. You're on the beach. You're doing heroin. You're fucking Vietnamese woman. And I love Vietnamese coffee.
I thought you were going to say you love Vietnamese women. I was like, yeah then you definitely missed out. You missed out on going to Vietnam. It's so weird, though. Didn't they come back and everyone hated them?
Yeah. Which I always think is unfair because you're just like, first of all, a lot of them got drafted. What are they?
Right.
Not everyone has the privilege to just go to Canada and live with their
Exactly.
rich uncle and aunt or whatever, like other politicians were able to do.
Yeah.
And then you're just also the ones that just sign up for it. You never think you're going to fight this war has no purpose.
Yeah, I mean, imagine going over there, risking your life, coming back with like half a leg or something, and then you think everyone's going to be nice to you, and then everyone's mad at you.
Yeah, and then Jane Fonda is like on the other side with the Vietnamese. Viet Cong or whatever. They hated her, and people still hate her, and I still feel like it's kind of fucked up what she did.
What did she do at it? You're like giving me so much history.
Well, she
I only
kind
know
of
her
went
for her
over there
workout.
and she was protesting against Americans.
That's crazy.
Even though I know we were on the bad side, but like she was against the soldiers where you're like, this is more like the Nixon administration.
Also, it's just interesting that she took time out from working out to go do that.
I
That's all I
know.
know about Jane Fonda is her workout videos.
This was probably in between the time of she probably stopped being casted for hot roles like Barbarella. And this
Okay.
was before she turned 40 where she was doing those workout videos.
Oh, so this was a time where she had nothing in her calendar.
And that probably was like, how can I get more press?
Well, I picture her as working out to Let's Get Physical, Physical.
I love that
Come
song.
on and get physical.
Let me hear your body talk.
Let me hear your body talk.
Your body talk.
That's such a weird song.
The video is hyper homosexual to the best, to the ninth degree.
Speaking of homosexual, I think all these guys are.
Really? They look pretty straight to me. The one with the long hair.
The one guy has his hand on his hip.
Do you think they'd be really mad? I'm like, hey, can you settle an argument?
We all think you're gay. We all, me, you, and the other people in the basement, in the trunk.
What do you think V-bar stands for? Vagina bar?
No vagina bar.
No V-bar.
No vagina in this bar.
No vagina in this bar. There is something that I miss about having beers at a bar and then going outside to smoke cigarettes.
Do you know what I loved about drinking?
This was before cell phones, so you weren't just like, you were talking to people.
Yeah, you had to make friends.
Yeah.
What I used to love about drinking is no matter how cold it was out, you didn't feel it.
Yeah.
You were just like, freezing weather and just didn't feel it.
Yeah. I remember when my drinking buddy in Houston one night, it was raining and it was cold or just drizzling lightly. And I look back on that night of like, how did I not die of pneumonia? We were outside chain smoking and drinking nonstop. And then I had to wake up early for work the next day.
I do think like drinking and smoking cigarettes kills a lot of stuff.
True. Feelings?
No, I just meant like diseases.
I think that sometimes I'm like, well, NyQuil's kind of full of alcohol. Sometimes I would have a little cold. Then I would go do shots or party. And then I would, in the middle of partying, I'd be like,
I feel better.
I feel way better. I'm so glad I came out. And then the next morning I would just have like the biggest congestive cough.
What would you do? What was like, if you got really drunk, right? What would you do the next day? Like what would, like, okay.
Well, today made me feel like that.
Oh, because you didn't sleep last night.
Yeah. And I was kind of like a little light lounging, doing some work where I never left the apartment.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So you never fell asleep even though you were kind of having a lazy day.
Yeah, and then you had a little bit of anxiety. Adrienne and I both had coffees at 10 o'clock last night.
Yep, and I went to sleep about 8 a.m.
Me too. I should have
tried-
just texted you.
I figured there's no way you're up.
I was up.
Oh, I'll never know. Like
Now we know. If I see you drinking coffee, I
I'm
will
gonna be out.
confide with you.
be like, I know you're gonna be out.
Yeah. I'll be like, I just had a coffee at 10 p.m.
Yeah, you don't think it's gonna keep you up, but it does. I think I also had an argument with Fred. I don't know. It was like one of those nights where you leave off with somebody and they fall asleep, and you're like, I need.
Are we
know.
done?
Yeah, you want to be like, I want to know what you were gonna say,
Yeah.
and they
To be
fell asleep.
Do you ever say that? To be continued.
TBC.
TBC.
No, I like when you took classes in college and it was TBA, to be announced.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, what are we announcing? And you're like, we're going to see whatever teacher doesn't get any classes. We're going to give them whatever you need to
Yeah.
take.
Sometimes it would be the last minute. I guess it was people like, fine, I'll make the extra 100 or a few hundred a week and teach this dumb summer class.
I tried taking a Spanish class during the summer, and they packed so much. Like, the first week, I'm like, I know everything. And then 2 weeks later, you're like, I'm lost.
Yeah, because it's fast.
It's like, yeah, past participle. I don't know. I'm like, come on, just tell me basic words in Spanish. I'm not going to
abogado.
Abogado's what?
Lawyer.
You see that
Did
on
you
the
ever-
train.
Did you watch that one where Raquel is abogado? She goes down to South America to find her long lost uncle.
Lawyer?
Or something. I don't know. Did you? It was a series that you watched to learn Spanish, and
No,
at the
I did
end
not
of
watch
it, it was. I just remember her name was Raquel, and I would be like, "This series is so boring." Like you kind of wish that Raquel would get laid in it and like be a sex scene in the middle of our Spanish
So then
class.
you could learn those sex words.
Like dirty words.
Puta.
Yeah,
They'll say
puta.
Raquel is
You know,
a puta.
maybe pular mi pelo.
Pull my hair.
Yeah. I don't even know if pull is the right word in Spanish.
It might be. Let's see. I'll do it right now. You said
Pular. Because that's usually, Spanish is always like the English word and then you add a ular to it. Sometimes. Like juegar means play.
You're right.
Jugar.
Jugar.
I used to know quite a bit of Spanish. You kind of lose it if you stop.
Biblioteca.
Library.
Which is like obsolete now. No one's going to the biblioteca.
Yeah. Then there was discoteca, which just meant like club.
Okay, so pull my hair is. You're not close at all.
What
did you say?
Pular mi pelo. Pielo?
Okay, it is jala mi cabello.
Oh.
So if you say that first sentence, I feel like something bad's gonna happen to you.
Shit. Probably my head will get cut off.
Wait, what did you think it was?
Pular mi. Is it pielo? Pielo. Is that hair?
Pilar mi. What is it?
P-I. Oh yeah, me, M-I. P-I.
I think it's P-E-L-O.
P-A. I thought it was P-E-P-I-E-L-O.
I don't know, man. We better not get fucking...
My head cut off?
Yeah. And the guy's like, you really want me to saw your neck into?
While you're about to come?
He's like, all right, this is weird,
like,
but I want... It's so weird.
Yeah. Well, when we were... okay, going back to the hangover day, I think mine would wake up till 2 p.m.
No, I mean, like, I used to get drunk and then have to be at work at, like, 7:30.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, me and, like, all the other girls at work, they would come to work just fucking smashed. Like, you're still drunk.
Yes.
And
a job, and then you're like, I'm pretty sure I reek of alcohol.
we all did, though. None of us showered.
You know, the trick is be like, oh, I put hand sanitizer on because that's all alcohol, and it always smells like you're an alcoholic when you put that on.
Interesting.
Just for your office drunks out there.
Yeah.
As a life hack, if somebody questions if you smell like booze, just be like, oh, I just doused myself in a ton of hand sanitizer.
Because you were getting your hair cut off?
Yeah.
Your head?
My head cut off from Raquel. Yeah, being smashed at work is the worst because then you're like, I just got to make it through these 8 hours.
I know, but so we would all order breakfast, and every time I was drunk, I would order 2 Snapples. I always had to drink 2, and an onion bagel with cream cheese. That was like
it does help.
That was like my hungover food, hangover food.
It does help, but then you start to get tired. I would just
Yeah.
drink a shit ton of coffee, so then I would have that really bad aftertaste.
Oof. And then you focus on that.
Yeah, but you know when I I celebrated 10 years of sobriety recently.
That's amazing.
I also realized.
Clap.
Thank you.
Sorry.
It's been 10 years since I've had a Gatorade.
Oh, is that what you used to drink all the time?
Yeah, and Gatorade when you're drunk is perfect. It's the right amount of sugar, but not too much to dehydrate you.
Right.
And then in your mind, you're like, I'm getting electrolytes.
You're like, this is actually healthy.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm the healthiest person right now.
Now I think I would probably reach for Pedialyte because they give that to kids when they're like vomiting to get back nutrients.
That's interesting.
And Pedialyte actually just tastes like Gatorade a little bit.
Have you ever been in a job where two people got into a fist fight?
No.
It's pretty great. It's happened where there were, first of all, when there's a lot of women working together, there's going to be a lot of fights. So the office I used to work at, the front desk girl, Jasmine, hated this new girl that came in. And like, I felt bad for this girl because she didn't have front teeth. She used to always talk with her hand. First of all, I don't even know how you get hired without teeth.
Yeah.
But she did.
Especially at the front desk.
No, the front desk girl had teeth.
Oh, okay.
The other girl who was doing like insurance stuff and didn't really know what she was doing. She got hired. She didn't have any teeth and she always had a bad weave. But she was really nice.
Yeah.
And for some reason I got along with her, and Jasmine and her used to fight all the time. And one day they went into the copy room and one of them pulled the other one's hair. What's also great about that is like you're just wasting so much work time.
Yeah.
Like pretending to care and mediate. But I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'm not at my desk right now.
Yeah.
I love office drama. I know we've talked about that before.
It's the best. It's the greatest show on earth.
I remember when Sandy Hook happened and I was in work. I think it was a Friday. It was only like me and my boss. And the footage was so sad and I just stayed in there and watched it just so I didn't have to do any work.
Yeah. Where you're like, I have to pay attention.
Yeah, you're just like, this is so sad. You just keep saying that.
I know Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking the hurricane, and now it just dawned on me it was
Hurricane Sandy Hook?
Yeah.
You just combine both of them? Yes. It actually seems like a great way to...
What a horrible hurricane.
Yeah. They
just like devastated Manhattan and then just shot up a school right after it hit below 14th
They're like, it's so
Street.
weird how that happened. How it was just a hurricane that came through New York and then kind of just flew over to Connecticut.
Newton.
Do you remember like people were just saying how it was fake? Do you remember like the fake Sandy Hook like lies and stuff where they said like
That's
Obama
a crazy person. But it is fascinating. You're like, are you really going with that?
Well, they kept playing the same video over and over from the Sandy Hook footage, especially early on. I guess they didn't have that much.
I'm only assuming it's because these people's minds cannot wrap their mind that somebody would do an act so evil.
Let's see. People actually thought it was a hoax, though. There are people that are like Sandy Hook Elementary school shooting conspiracy theories.
Yeah. I don't know. I just watched the Great Hack.
Wait, that was in 2012?
It was a long time ago. I remember I was working at the Shoreham Hotel.
Wow.
And I was eating at Five Guys after work, and then I was reading tweets, and I think I even did a tweet of like I never do a serious tweet, but this one I was like, and then when I think back I'm like, ugh, embarrassing. It's just kind of like, we seriously have to stop. We got to start doing something.
But no one's going to do anything. Doesn't it seem like there's more school shootings?
Yeah.
Now we're just taking a break during the summer to like catch up. That's what it seems like. We're just taking a break from school shootings.
Yeah. We're revving up.
Well, I'm sure now. I remember just doing a school shooting joke and someone was like, there was a shooting today. I'm like, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. They say there's almost like one a day. Something crazy like that. Or one every 3 days. And then it's to the point that you don't think about it. Or does it come into the news?
Right, because it's happening so often.
Yeah. But
like
they did preemptively stop 3 guys.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about that yesterday.
So I guess that's good. But, when you're preemptive, I think you can just get them on a bunch of weapon charges and then they get off in about 2 years. So it's not really a huge offense.
You just got to wait.
I don't think.
Got to wait for them when they come back out.
You just hope I guess a lot of people are just angry. I just always think you could just get into stand-up and get angry that way.
Yeah, a lot of those people where you're like, hey, channel this into comedy.
Have you tried an open mic at the Creek?
Also, how about maybe somebody takes out a bunch of comics and we can move up? I mean, like, stop shooting these poor kids.
Can you hit a few open mics?
Fuck the open mics. Hit a few comics that are, like, touring.
Some are, like, at some of the... I know what you mean.
Yeah. That they're like, hey, we're at a fucking loss. We just got to book people.
Where you're like, this guy hasn't done anything in 20 years and he's still headlining clubs.
And you're like, get him out. Get him out. Get this guy out. They're not going to book us for a guy spot, though. We're going to have to take out the women, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or a guy that they're like, we don't really care that much.
I know. There's still not a lot of female headliners.
No, there's probably only a handful.
But I think it's because clubs are like, who's coming to see you? There's girls that I know are really good and they're still not drawing.
Yeah, I remember one time, I think years ago, Bonnie tried to take me to open for her somewhere, and they were like, if we book 2 women, no one will show up. And like,
there's something really funny about that.
I know, but also it's like that was the time you could say that. I don't know if you could say that right now.
I did Laugh Boston a few years ago with Joe, and that guy wouldn't put me and Kelly McFarlane up back to back, and she's a beast, and I was consistently good. So that it wasn't something that would derail the show. He just didn't want to have 2 female comics back to back.
That's so dumb. Would they not have 2 guys back to back?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
So they put this other guy comic
They put a
in
comic
between
buffer
us.
on?
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't even, and they're like, do you do comedy? He's like, no. He's like, just go up there and say a couple things.
Just say that you're a guy. Just cleanse the palate a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And we were different in tone, too. It wasn't like we went up there and talked about the same thing.
About your big pussies?
Yeah. So it still happens. But you know what's weird? I remember doing all the all-female shows in Houston, and those always sold out. So I never understood, because it was kind of like, in their mind, I think an anomaly. Like,
I think that when they book it as an all-female show, people will go, they think. But then if 2 women are on a show and it's not promoted as an all-women show, they're like, no one's going to come. So I think that it either needs to be all women or 1 woman.
Yeah. Well, there's still a lot of women comics that are headlining that don't bring female openers.
I'm sure a lot of them can.
Yeah.
A lot of the clubs will be like, that's 2 women on a show.
That's just too much.
It's too much for this day and age. And you're like, well, what if I wear a wig and I look like a dude? They're like, nope.
That sucks. I don't know. It's just funny that nobody has that for 2 guys.
No, you could have 10 guys. I mean, when you're on a show, how many guys are there usually? It's probably 4 or 5 guys and 1 or 2 women.
Yeah, when you look at all the lineups in New York, it's most of the time it's 5 guys, 1 girl.
It's like that's how the 5 guys
Burger Place.
Yeah, because they came to a show and they're like, there's always 5 guys.
Yeah.
On a comedy show.
So she was like, I'm tired of making burgers. And they're like, okay, it's just 5 guys.
Yeah, they're like, you're going to have to go in the back and make all the burgers for the guys. Obviously, who's going to make the burgers? It's not going to be guys.
I know. That's why it's always really impressive that Amy got as big as she did.
Yeah. I mean, I think what I heard about that was that, like, Whitney Cummings was supposed to be, like, Comedy Central's breakout star. But she had Whitney and another show, Two Broke Girls.
Yeah.
She had those shows. She had the Whitney show, though, on NBC. So
yeah,
she
that didn't do that well.
Right. So she turned down the Comedy Central show, I guess, that she was going to do. And that's when they gave it to Amy.
Oh.
So it's like, if she didn't turn that down, who knows if Amy would even be as big as she is now. It's so, you know what I mean? It's like.
Yeah, because I think that show launched her. But also the roast helped her a little bit.
I don't know if the roast help anymore.
I don't think they do. Well, I don't think people watch that stuff as much as they used to. I think everything has definitely moved online.
Right. So if you're not like streaming stuff or putting content online, no one's really caring.
Yeah.
Also, like, no one really has cable anymore.
No,
I have cable
streaming.
and it's a waste. I never watch it.
No, I only do HBO on demand, but I'm not watching, just flicking through to watch HBO.
Yeah, I think cable will be obsolete in not that many years.
Well, that's my next idea is like, I think I'll just do a special on
That's
YouTube.
a great idea.
And I don't even care. I'll just do 2 cameras I will do
you
it
wanna
cheap.
do you want to use my iPhone in yours and just tape it?
Yeah, and I'll just get decent audio.
I mean, and then you can also break it up.
Yeah.
And put it out on like Instagram and shit. That's how people are getting followers now. If
I'd
we
rather people come to live shows and then I get booked to do the road than to get paid one lump sum and then maybe make some money off of YouTube ads or
That's smart.
somebody buy the album off of it.
Well, it will be interesting, like what Andrew Schultz did when no one would buy his special. And he just released little clips on YouTube,
Yeah.
and he kind of has what 500,000 views and shit. Some of his videos have over 1 million.
That's true, but he had a little help because of, was it Charlemagne, the
Yeah.
radio host? That definitely helped.
It definitely does help, and I've also said that to him too. And he's like, "Well, there's someone in your life that could also help you out like that." He was like, "Maybe
True.
I'll be that person for you."
Please, Andrew.
I know, and then that conversation never went anywhere.
Oh, yeah,
so.
we ran into him the other day on the street.
Oh, that's right.
And then Adrienne was fake fangirling, and then there was a guy that
He moved me out of the way to get close.
he was
I was
like,
like, you don't even know that I'm not a real fan. But like, that's how dudes just think that's what dudes do. They just assume that they take whatever they want.
yeah.
That guy only knew probably because I was making a big deal about it.
He wouldn't have noticed
Yeah.
because he was all into his friends at the time.
Yep.
Well, I have noticed I put a video up today, and I think I got 20 new Instagram followers.
Ooh. Was it your
And I got
the baboon one from Comedy Central?
No, that was just like by coincidence that they put that up today. I did the one on Instagram that was a snippet from my Corden set.
Ooh, I love the recording set.
So then I just put that up there, and then I did those Glossier videos, and that got me a few hundred followers.
That's
that I'm
great.
like, I feel like we're gonna have to do more videos.
I guess so, but like, at what point are we going to be like 65 years old doing videos like that? Like, at what point are we going to stop having to do that?
Well, I cried to Joe today because I'm feeling a little bit down in my career, and then the perspective, like, then I'm just like this clown on Instagram rubbing pepperoni on my face. You know what I mean? It feels
kinda
like
worked.
it did. I felt like my skin looked really great from that.
Yeah, I
The
definitely.
pepperoni sheen.
Yeah, and it was hard for me to watch the ketchup thing because I don't know that
Gross.
a little bit only because it's ketchup. I don't know why I hate like ketchup and mustard on people. Like, you ever see videos where they do stuff like that? But I love the Sharpie one. I was like, how is she gonna get that off?
It came off a lot easier than it was one wash.
How did you do it? Salt and water, soap and water.
Yeah, just a face wash, and then I just rubbed my eyebrows.
Interesting.
Maybe I had enough grease on my face. I think I might do one tomorrow that's a bundle of the pepperoni sheen with the eyebrow.
Ooh, nice.
Like, you can buy it as a package deal.
And you could also throw something else in there too.
What's another idea? That's the thing I'm trying to think of.
What else you could? I mean, those I was surprised that you kept coming up with them.
Yeah, I can't. Somebody told me bread with peanut butter as my foundation. But I was like, that's too much for me. I like it something
What
like
do-
it could be.
I could be your competitor and do one.
Okay.
What could I do? Yogurt on my face? I don't know what that would be.
Like a face soap.
Or you could do eye shadow.
Oh, yeah.
You could do yogurt as eyeshadow.
Oh, I could do
Or
that.
you know how girls are doing like white nail polish? You could do
Whiteout?
yogurt or whiteout, yeah.
On my eyes, and then I'm just crying.
You're going to do it on your eyes? That's pretty funny.
Maybe I'll do an eyeshadow, like a simple, maybe a Crayola marker.
Ooh, you know what's
simple
another way?
eyelid thing.
You could also do, instead of getting your mustache waxed, you could just get like an eraser and and do that with the eraser. I'm sure it would take it off.
Oh, yeah. What if I put a little mascara on my actual mustache hairs and
Did you see
enhance them a little bit
Did
more?
you see that they have videos where people are like growing hair out of their nose to actually like make it pronounced?
Ew.
That's a new thing, yeah.
For girls,
I am telling you, I saw it was gross.
I have to pluck a few nose hairs out. Just a secret.
I mean, do it tomorrow.
Yeah, it hurts, but every now and then I'm like, oh, those are further out than I want them to be.
Guys don't care about shit like that, though.
Not in the long run. I waited tables with this one guy that would make his wife shave her legs when she got into bed, and I remember
He would make her shave the legs?
Yes, and he looked like a big fat piece of shit.
Of course.
That's always like amazing to me, where you're like,
How
do you get to tell your wife?
What do you mean
shave?
he made her do it?
He didn't like the way her legs felt if they had stubble on them, and so I guess he'd be like, "Babe, I need you to go shave your legs."
I would just put pants on. Was it because they were gonna fuck, or just like she was in the bed with him at night and his leg might like?
Yeah, I'm sure his toenails weren't clipped.
Yeah, I'm sure his toenails were disgusting.
I don't think I've ever seen a guy's toenails that I thought were great. I can't look at Joe's.
Yeah, they don't look nice. Fred's toenails aren't great either.
Why is it? I think it's quite enjoyable to clip your fingernails and have a fresh, clean start.
I don't know. I just think their nails. Also, like his feet just don't look like as good as girls' feet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if he was gonna be gay and wanted to wear like shoes with his toes out, I'd be like, that's probably not your best asset.
Yeah.
I would put.
Gay men are meaner than women.
Right. We put up with so much shit that dudes don't.
Like that. I've always heard that with gay dating, like Tinder and stuff. Like. I remember Joel Kim talking about how there's a lot of Asian discriminatory
because they don't want to date Asians.
Yeah.
I feel like if I was gay, I would
short guys.
Well, I would want to date an Asian guy so I didn't have a huge dick in my ass.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be, I would definitely.
Ideal.
I would only want Asian dudes.
So you would probably be a bottom?
I guess. As a bottom though, what else? What do I get to do though?
What's your enjoyment? I guess it's you can come by being fucked in the ass.
Okay, but I probably also would be jerking off, right?
Yeah. Well, you're getting.
So, but wait, is there like that Louis C.K. thing where like somebody's sitting on your back?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. I think that you would need to be on your side so you could jerk off.
Yeah,
I've watched a lot of Queer as Folk. I used to call it Queer as Fuck.
That's a good one.
I know, but
that was a good show.
It was great. And that was the first time I really seen gay dudes having missionary sex where you can...
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know that was even possible.
I guess you just kind of like...
It's kind of the same thing. It's the same thing, yeah. It's just going a little bit further.
Because it's not like the vagina hole is that much further away from your asshole.
Yeah, it's just a little bit underneath.
Just like a little more roll up.
Right. So you just like, hey... Picture where your pussy is, and now go 3 to 4 inches down.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I'm like, is Joe trying to put it in my butt right now?
He might be. Sometimes you don't.
They always try to.
Yeah, that's not the best.
Yeah, we're like, I'm going to find out.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like I would get so drunk and the next day my ass would hurt and I'd be like, oh, I let this guy fuck me in my ass.
Yeah, I know.
Like an ex-boyfriend, and I'm like,
I know it happened. Yeah,
you're like, oh, I got so drunk last night, I was okay with that.
Yeah.
That's not my favorite.
I will only do it if I'm in a loving relationship.
What if you're in a?
But I would never do it as like my thing to do on dates.
No, I've only done it a handful of times. What if you're in a relationship that's not loving and it's mostly just fighting?
Just hate. Then he only gets the butt.
Or you're just like, I don't know, we got to work up to being loving.
I guess I would just get an angry hand job. Isn't that the worst when you have sex with somebody that you hate? Have you ever done that?
Yes. I remember I had sex with an ex-boyfriend.
Why do we do that?
I think you just want to get it over with. I had sex with an ex-boyfriend and I was like over the relationship. I didn't want to have sex anymore. And I remember we were having sex and I literally was like almost crying because I was like, I remember saying to myself, this is like rape. Like, I don't want to be doing, I don't want to be doing this. I'm not attracted to you anymore. And I'm just sad.
Yeah. And I only feel like I don't know why I'm doing this. Maybe appeasing you.
Yeah.
And then it never feels like you can be like, I can't do this.
I mean, I would.
And they never stop while you're crying.
They're like, oh, we're just role playing now. You're just a wench that I found in a basement. And you're like, no, I actually hate this.
This is upsetting.
And they're like, no, you don't hate this.
Okay, let me finish really fast. And then we'll talk about what you're going through.
Right. And I'll be like, no, but this is making it worse. And they're like, no, I get that. Yeah, that was awful. I remember me and him broke up, and he was like, you want to have breakup sex? And I was like, we weren't having together sex. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not fucking doing that. No thanks.
Yeah.
It's so weird, too, because I feel like if I'm just not in someone anymore, I can't even just have sex with them.
I can't fake it.
Forget about faking it. I mean, like, I can't even just, like, sit through it. It's
Yeah.
like it's like sitting through the worst movie. That's what it's like to me.
Yes.
Where you're like, it's not as long as a movie, but it's pretty bad.
And it just like, and then it's not like you come.
Oh my God. I mean, forget about that. That wasn't even an option.
No. I guess I would just try to be as dead as possible.
It
so
doesn't
they
matter.
know that I'm not enjoying.
I don't think they care.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. I don't think they care. Like, at one point, he wouldn't even he knew I didn't want to have sex with him anymore, so he would just tell me to, like, play with his nipples. He'd be like, and moan. I'm like, you want me to pretend I'm moaning because I'm doing that? Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I'm into that at all.
Yeah.
Gross.
Well, it's hard to feign interest.
I mean, I think it's hard to fake interest in, I don't know, like, dudes could just do it. They could just not like somebody and still get hard and come.
Oh, yeah. I think they could hate somebody. They could fuck somebody that is against every moral principle in their life. They could fuck someone that is racist towards their race.
Absolutely.
And they were like, I can get through
There
this.
are so many people that said they hate Stacey Dash because she's like a Republican, and I'm
Yeah.
like, she's so fucking hot that if she wanted to fuck you, you would. And
Yeah.
guys would be like, yeah,
Definitely.
exactly.
We
They're all
just wouldn't talk politics.
right. They'd be like, let's talk anything but Trump.
Yeah. We're like, I feel like we were just like, I can't be with a guy that thinks that.
I don't know. It's so hard for me to like really be into somebody, I think.
Yeah.
Especially when you're dating on fucking dumb sites. Everyone's lying.
Yeah.
Like, what lies? I mean, you have never done dating on there, right? Because you did.
No.
You've been with Joe before that kind of really started.
Yeah. I remember one time my friend was in between. We decided we were at bartending together, and she's like, let's just put you on Plenty of Fish. And I would go on there, and I think I was like 33, 32 at the time. And you realize what your range is, and it was so depressing to me. It was only like 50-year-old, like way older guys that were messaging me.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's your only range.
Well, there was not one person that I saw that I was like,
This guy's cute. Yeah.
yeah.
Also, there's stuff that you don't know. I remember one time I met this dude he was in AA, which was cool, but he was also the most boring person I ever talked to. And he kind of also dragged a leg. Like that you can't tell from a picture.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, even if all your pictures look exactly the same, the fact that you kind of drag your leg is not coming up ever.
Yeah, and then you're like, I need a video of you walking. On
Well,
the second.
also you're just like, well, you didn't bring that up. You know, and there's never a good time to bring up the fact that you're dragging a leg.
Ugh, I was having this thought in my head as I was walking out of the train to get to this spot tonight. I'm just thinking in the perspective of trans dating before online dating. So there was a lot of time that maybe the opposite or their date did not know that they were a woman with a male part or a male with a female part.
Okay.
Until later that night. And there's probably been a lot of incidences where that person's like, oh, I thought you were all female. I can't fuck you. And it's got to be heartbreaking.
That's very heartbreaking. I remember a guy told me this story where he was married, he got divorced. He said that, he goes, I think I had sex with a transgender woman. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he goes, yeah, because, I got this person off of Craigslist, and I told them that I wanted them to put their finger in my ass.
Yeah.
He goes,
Is this a work guy?
No, this is not a work guy. This is somebody that used to do stand-up and
Oh, okay.
And then he goes, but then I told her to put on the rubber gloves that you wash dishes with.
Whoa, those are thick.
Right, and he's like, and her hands were like really big. They barely fit in them. And then I was like, oh, did you have? But he wanted to let me know he's like into dudes a bit, I guess. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, man, I don't care. Like, he said
Yeah,
that
this
to me-
is New York.
I know, but he was just like, yeah. So I think a guy I think I fucked a guy, and I'm like,
Cool.
okay.
Yeah, get in. Who-
It's so weird though to be first like I don't know. I guess it's first of all, why would you care what I think? I don't
Yeah.
care to begin with, but also like,
Do
why
what you want.
do you think he was just seeing how I reacted to kind of see how other people would react to it?
I guess if you were like,
Also-
oh my God, disgusting.
Also though, like rubber gloves, like you said, that's really thick.
Yeah, I can't imagine that getting that far into your ass.
Unless you're putting what? I guess a
Lot-
lot of lube or something.
Yeah.
But
I would definitely use just like those gloves that you use for dissecting or food handling. Not
don't know.
cleaning the dishes.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
He was already getting somebody off Craigslist. So I think he was just like, okay.
Well, it's best because, you know, if they've been riding the subway, you don't want their subway fingernail dirt into your butthole.
We should ask that guy if he's gay.
I don't know. Can you do that?
I guess he gave us a thumbs up for taping the podcast.
Did he really?
Yeah, you didn't see him go like that to us? Thumbs up.
No.
Yeah, he was out there with his lover,
He appreciates our hustle.
I guess. So yeah, that guy. And then I was like, okay, cool, man. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was also in the military too. I think he was like trying to see how I'd react to him being bi.
Sex is wild. It's all over the place. I
Sure.
am very grateful that my taste seems pretty simple.
That you're not like, you don't need like a guy with a 12-inch dick to like.
Yeah, or like a guy that has a pussy
Oh yeah, if you're like
and I'm gay.
and also like you love racist people.
Yeah.
Like if there are so many different things that you needed where you're like, I'm not gonna get all my needs met.
First of all, dating in a hetero world is quite hard to maneuver anyway to find a good match.
Especially with guys that are dragging their legs.
Yes.
I have to tell you though, I had a bad headache and it was really loud in the diner where we went. And I cut it off after about a half hour. I go, hey, I really have a bad headache. I need to go.
Yeah.
Instead of just like being nice and listening to him. He also was a doorman, which is a weird job to have
I
when
think
you're
that's
dragging a
nice.
leg.
You don't want to waste his time.
No, but don't you wish you could just like, not now, but when I was doing that, I wish I could just meet somebody and be like, oh man, you're 5'2".
Yeah.
And that's when I realized guys are not putting their height on there.
Well, I think you need to be a gay guy because then you can do that. Because from what I gather, when they meet on Tinder dates or Grindr dates, they're like, no.
yeah, and then I learned that. I had a couple of shorties that showed up very tiny. And I was like, oh, I need to be specifying that.
Yeah.
And then I did.
I mean, short guys get no love on the
I
online.
don't think that's true. There's also short girls that like will date a short guy.
I know, but that is the bagel boss's complaint. Remember that guy that like lost his shit? And I hear that all the time, how much hate short guys get online.
If I was him, I would just get into the dwarf world of dating.
Yeah.
Like just date people who are like dwarfs.
But you're right, there's short girls that will date short guys.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also short girls that are like, no. So you're like, well, then you could go into the world of dwarf dating.
Yeah.
That's
There's
gotta-
some hot dwarfs.
Yeah, you love that. What's that guy's name?
Peter Dinklage. The Dink.
So wait, you would have sex with him if you were single and he wanted to have sex?
Yeah.
How do you think that would happen though? Do you think you'd have to pick
I'd
him
probably
up?
have to write him. Or if he did missionary, he'd be so far down.
I guess, yeah.
Or I would maybe doggy style and he gets to stand up while I'm on my knees.
Are you gonna have like knee pads?
Or a stepping stool.
Yeah, I don't know how you're doing this.
I think we could do doggy style.
Do you know what I would love to do if I was dating him? In the middle of a fight, just pick him up.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what are you going to do now? Now I have you off the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm holding you.
I think he's freakishly strong.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Well, I would hope that if I was fucking a dwarf, he was
I think
not
you could
that
push
strong.
him for sure. But
He's
picking
probably-
them up is way more powerful.
Yeah. Because then, I mean, I have to assume that during a fight, he's gotten picked up
Yeah.
and cradled like a baby. You don't think that would be the best thing you could do during a fight? And you're like, well, you're not so tough
it's
now.
demeaning. To get or spanked over your knee.
Ugh, I hate that. When I was a kid and we would get in trouble, my parents would say they were going to spank us over their knee, and I was like, remember you had that funny joke about just turning it into a
Oh, just get into
give
it.
them a lap dance?
Like, ooh, yeah.
It's such a funny
Daddy.
joke idea. You're like, put me over your knee. You'll see what else is going to happen.
Oh, were you reading my diary? Like,
Yeah, how did you know I was into this at 7? I think I would
Dad,
just
I
get,
think you just formed my kink in my adult years.
I'd be like, I think that I would get in more trouble for that.
Yeah. Oh, it would. Kids have no idea that they could seriously make any adult feel like a perv.
Oh, yeah, all they have to do is act crazy.
It's like we should be going into schools and being like, if you want to get the upper hand over an adult,
All you have to do
make them feel like they're perving on you.
and then you're like, if that doesn't work, come in with a rifle and kill everyone.
Yes. Yes.
So maybe that's what you should do, like have a TED Talk about instead of shooting everyone up. Act like a pervert.
Yeah. Just make it seem like every adult. Like, this one my sister made me laugh one time. We were on a vacation with my dad, and he went to go get us drinks at the bar, and then he comes back with them, and he gives it to us, and Vicky goes, "Thank you, mister." She made my dad seem like he was this older guy buying really young girls drinks.
What'd your dad do?
He goes, "Oh, Vicky, shut up." Like,
That's
he gets
funny.
mad at her. He didn't let her have that weight. I was laughing so hard of like, I was just like, highly inappropriate, but super, very, like, very, very funny that you just did that.
The only thing I remember about my dad getting mad at me is like when I think I told this story already, and it's such a crazy thing where like I went into his job. He used to like deliver mail, and they asked me what color bear I wanted for Christmas. There was a black one and a white one. And at first I said I wanted the black one. Then I said I wanted the white one. And my father got so mad at me, and I didn't understand why, because there was a guy that was working there that I actually had a crush on. So my mother told me later why he got mad. I'm like, does Dad know I think that guy's hot? I was like, I'm not racist. I think that guy's hot. I just liked the bear's ribbon in his hair. Like,
Yeah.
one had pink and one was like blue.
Yeah.
But it's such a weird thing that my father took that on.
Yeah. We were like, of all the things.
Yeah, and you're like, Dad, I like black dudes. I have Omar Epps on my wall. If you were paying attention to anything I'm doing,
So
you would
he-
know that.
He thought you were being racist.
He thought because I didn't take the black, first I said the black bear, then I said the white one. He thought, I guess, that this guy is going to perceive that as a race thing.
Doesn't it always feel like when you do that, like if vanilla or chocolate, some people are being like, oh, I see.
And you're like,
But you're like, but I really
just
like vanilla.
yeah, it has nothing to.
I hate
It's-
chocolate. It's so
But
hard to
that's
get out of the
such
container.
a crazy thing to take on when I was a kid. I was probably like 12 or 13.
You're not going to grasp that.
No, and I didn't know later until I guess my mother told me. I was like, I don't understand why he's upset about that. Because
Yeah,
he
it
was
doesn't make
mad. He
sense.
was mad about it, and he didn't even tell me.
Yeah.
A classic dad move.
You're like, communicate.
He's like, no, I'm just gonna gamble your whole life away.
Yeah. And I'm going to sit in the car and listen to sports radio.
All right, I gotta go. I gotta go do a spot.
It's time. Alrighty.
Guys, this was a fun one.
Thank you for listening. More
Guys,
videos, top tier.
More videos.
Join our
I'm-
Patreon. Fucking, we need your love
Yeah,
and money. That's what I meant.
right. And also, you've gotten 3 years of free,
Yeah.
whatever this is. And,
We'd really appreciate it.
and we're probably only gonna be alive another 5-6 years.
Yeah. So
So,
why not?
You've gotten 3 free years. Pay for three years, and then we'll
And
be
we'll
dead
call
almost.
it a day.
Yeah, we'll almost be dead then.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Bye.